Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And following up our video last week, talking about the initial new rumors in regards to Life is Strange 4, I have another video. And this one has some big news on the future of Life is Strange. Not just Life is Strange 4, but future titles down the road. We all know that Life is Strange isn't done. Deck 9 has been given the keys by Square Enix, and especially now with, we just had True Colors pretty much now about a year ago, and just the Remastered Collection, we know Life is Strange has a lot in store for its future. And this comes via an interview that someone from Deck 9 did, and this was from Rock, Paper, Shotgun, and IGN did a repost of the interview. So we're going to go through both the articles down below and discuss what is the future of Life is Strange. So if you missed any of my info last week on the potentiality of a Max and Chloe sequel, the new rumors in regards to that, check the link down below in the description, card in the top right for that video. Highly recommend you guys go check that out. That discussed a lot of the details in regards to that. But this is 100% concrete. We know for certain, based on this interview, there's some concrete info I can tell you about, not just Life is Strange 4, but the whole future ahead. So, if you guys do enjoy this, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. If you want to keep the latest Life is Strange content on this channel, and make sure you follow me on social media down below to stay connected with us as we get closer and closer to the reveal of the next Life is Strange game, whenever that will be. So, sure about the near 50% of people are subscribed as well if you can. Notification bell. Joined by almost 100,000 people that got all notifications turned on for the channel, and help us on the road to 325k by hitting the red subscribe button. So, we're gonna get straight into the article. Let me know what you think of the info down below after I go through it. So, enjoy. Life is Strange developers can't imagine going back to an episodic release model. True Colors was the first step away from the episodic format. So, if we remember correctly, guys, Life is Strange True Colors had a little different release pattern than past Life is Strange games. We knew Life is Strange 1 Before the Storm and 2 released episodically, usually within a couple months waits between each episode. LIS 2 was synonymous with long waits. So, for True Colors, Deck 9 and Square Enix decided that they were going to release it all in one go, but still have it in the episodic format. So, for example, we'd have the 5 chapters, which were in True Colors. Now, I kind of saw this coming. You could tell, based on the critical reception True Colors got, the success. I have seen nothing but accolades for True Colors, where LIS 2, unfortunately, as much as I love it, and I think it's an underrated game and something that everyone here should try, despite if they have their opinions or not about it, LIS 2 was very good, but True Colors sold the best in the franchise, is based on what I've read, and it's been critically acclaimed. So you knew that with that success, that this was going to be the writing on the wall, that this might be the nail in the coffin for episodic Life is Strange games, which breaks my heart considering theories and getting ready for stuff after episode was one of my biggest things I loved about these games, but unfortunately, it seems like we are stepping away from that path. So, Life is Strange True Colors is the first game in the series released as a full package, sidestepping the episodic release that the franchise is built on. Now developers can't imagine going back. We're going to interview with Rock, Paper, Shotgun senior narrative designer Philip Lawrence from Deck 9 explained why the team wanted to try something new with the Life is Strange sequel, which was still separated into distinct chapters, but released as a single package. Now pay attention to this quote. "I can't imagine we'd go back to the episodic model," said Lawrence. The reaction had been very positive, which I've just said. It was critically acclaimed, and everyone loved not having to wait for episodes. I, as a YouTuber and someone that does this, did not like that, and a bunch of other LIS fans didn't agree with that. But it's, I've seen more critical acclaim than, listen, I'm perfectly okay with them doing it, but it's just going to be a shame. It really is. I feel like it's going to be missed. And even though True Colors did well financially and critically, the hype on YouTube was nowhere near what LIS 2 and LIS 1 were, and that, the waits between the episodes were a big part of that. I think we were careful to keep that episodic structure because that does seem to appeal to players, which we do know, yes. That's all part of the DNA of Life is Strange. As you can imagine, it was a decision that was talked about and agonized over quite a bit, but I think the reflection, it was the right decision. And I would agree, based on the reception that True Colors got, that yes, they made the right decision. They have a steep slope. They have to basically decide between hype and excitement, or sales and revenue and acclaim, which they chose that. I want to step back, reflect on those water cooler moments for the community. They can, but for those who would be frustrated by episodic release pairing, we can save them from those frustrations. Think of it this way: Life is Strange True Colors is more like a box set than a weekly episodic. Making it this way was apparently a freeing experience, with the structure of the story becoming secondary to the story itself, and that meant developers Duck 9 could concentrate on getting the plot right. And what I will say about True Colors, plot-wise, was very good, but one of my biggest issues with True Colors was the length of episodes. Very short compared to LIS2, and choices did not matter that much. They were not the biggest choices. Don't get me wrong, I had to have some pause moments during those choices, but yeah, that was one of my biggest pet peeves, though, with True Colors, that they did that. I think from a career point of view, it's allowed us to concentrate on developing the story, given the scripts into a great position. Game. He explained, so we didn't have that awkwardness of the episodic model, where you're rushing to production on the scripted moments of the first episode, then moving on to the next one. Approaching it this way is a lot more coherent and organic, I think. So whether or not we find another Life is Strange on its way remains to be seen, which we do know. Like, listen, IGN, it's pretty much confirmed at this point, without even saying anything. But even if there is, it looks like as though it's unlikely to return to the old episodic format. Let me just have my 2 cents on this. Very disappointed hearing this. Very disappointed hearing this. I understand, though, why they're doing it. I get it. But, man, it's going to be a kick. It's going to be a kick in the gut for me, because just from my point of view, this was one of the coolest things being able to do, you know, with Life is Strange. I moved on from Telltale and I did stuff like this, but if you guys didn't know, Telltale Games will still be doing episodic releases, and Deck 9 is right now working on a game with Telltale called The Expanse Telltale series, so I believe that will be episodic as well. So don't worry, the episodic format still is with Telltale, but it seems like Life is Strange is done with it, which really does break my heart. So Life is Strange 4 will likely be a full-on release. I don't know if they'll still have it in the episodic thing, but it just seems like it's going to be a full-on game, which, dang, kind of blows when you think about it. It's a little more idea on what they're going to be focusing on this next Life is Strange title. So this section here talks a little bit about the powers, the emotions, saying Life is Strange has always been about emotions. It's absolutely the heart of these games. And they talk about how empathy became the power. You know, Alex was the empath, I believe. That's the right word. So let's move it front and center into the power. You know, about the emotions. Lawrence rejects the superpower moniker, pointing out that the team's focus is always to ground their characters, abilities, and reality as much as possible, as the powers are one element of fantasy. Everything else is grounded in reality. The characters, the real-life issues, the themes, the powers are one big concession to imagination, if you like. He explains, but because of that, it has to be absolutely rooted in the character. It's their backstory, it's their present dilemma, it's a challenge that they face in the course of the game, and of course, it's a tool they use to face that challenge. Gives you maybe an idea of what the next Life is Strange character's power might, you know, it's going to face some kind of challenge, or have to use it to face a challenge. But if that is Max Caulfield, then yes, that's been what the rumors have been. And then constantly, who's the main character? One of the first things to work on in development, the fact that it changes each time, brought for our own back, but disadvantage allows us to explore a different power and develop it in a way that really resonates with the character and the themes that we're going to want to explore through that character. We develop a character and the power very much in tandem. So yeah, linking the power and the character right around the same time. So they talk about how, you know, new LIS protagonists, dawning process, very organic process. So this is why I tell you guys that this Life is Strange, the next Life is Strange game, even though they're not going to say anything about it, is taking a long time. That it's a very organic process, which takes a very long time. Talking about, you know, making that character along with the power. We spent many months in the beginning of development in the concepting phase. We have a writer's room out at Deck 9 Colorado with a very diverse and inclusive writing team who offer various perspectives on the story and character in very different life experiences, which I already believe, whether it is Max Caulfield returning and upgrading your power or a new protagonist, they're already well in development, I believe, with this character and their power. A lot of finding the characters in the casting, especially now that they use full performance capture, which we do know True Colors was the first LAS with performance capture. And remember, they did use that as well in the remastered collection. Then talking about, having Erica Mori as Alex. Full motion capture first series, which, we will see a lot more in the future Life is Strange games. So expect a lot more from that with Deck 9, especially being in charge. Whose highest emotional moments were sometimes undercut by the characters, some with blank facial expressions, especially in the first game. Tied the massive boost in the game's graphics, True Colors, far away from being the best looking Life is Strange game to date. Deck 9 were very keen to use motion capture, came with risk because there were a lot of unknowns about it, but we agreed it was the right thing to do. And I do agree, I think the motion capture was a great addition, and I'm looking forward to them using it more in the future projects. Post the most noticeably change in Life is Strange Colors, shift away from the episodic release model. This is a little more explaining on what I just talked about earlier. While the game is split into chapters, offering usual breakdown of how choices stacked up, True Colors is the first Life is Strange game to release a complete experience. Partially about player choice, careful structured story around 5 chapters, which I just talked about. Concentrating involving the story, getting the scripts, great position. Just talked about all that. And it's also assigned the episodic model going somewhat out of style. While it has its benefits, the unreliable world of genre development schedules makes concept start releases incredibly difficult to keep up with and often frustrates more than it entertains fans. So as Deck 9's critics move forward with Life is Strange Torch, the episodic model thing of the past, and again, that quote I just talked about earlier, it's about how they think it's the right decision that they might get rid of it. They can't imagine going back to the episodic model. Although there's in the future of the series, is hopefully in safe hands, going with True Colors at any rate. Still, even with all the extra support and development money behind the game, taking on any other studio's IP has been daunting prospecting with the experience on Before the Storm taken into account. Never been directly asked them this, but they wouldn't be human if they didn't have some apprehension. Before the Storm was a very useful stepping stone. It obviously is a gorgeous game in its own right, but it's a smaller game and a game where they were inheriting characters and settings. He describes the game as a great onboarding ground, but coming with a new character, new setting, and raising the benchmark in terms of visual fidelity for True Colors was a huge task and undertaking. I think they nailed it. So I will say, True Colors, guys, was that I believe it was really their first main game. Because, I mean, Before the Storm was a prequel, it was 3 episodes plus a little bonus episode in their own story. So this is where I feel now Deck 9 has to deliver their second game after Life is Strange 4. Whether it is a new character again with a new power, or they bring back Max Caulfield and evolve her power a bit more, and we get to see what that entails. But regardless, the episodic model seems like it's going away. The power and the new character, Max Caulfield, seems like it's going to be a big point of emphasis, emotions, with Life is Strange 4. And it's likely being, the whole process is likely getting near wrap-ups, I would say, in the next couple months. And we should be seeing a reveal sometime next year, I would think. But the whole power and setting up the character and world are likely what Deck 9 is doing along with The Expanse. But I will want to bring up a couple tweets before I end the video here. Let me bring them up really quick. So Deck 9 just said, but coming up with a new character, new setting, raising the benchmark in terms of visual fidelity for True Colors is a huge task for them to undertake. I think Deck 9 nailed it. Great informative read. Thanks, Rock, Paper, Shot. And they posted a response. Someone had said something. So, of course, they're not going to say something about Life is Strange 4, but this gives you a little kind of an idea. Can't wait to see what they do next. I love Life is Strange. Currently working on the Expanse Telltale series with Telltale Games. And also the new Life is Strange game that they're obviously not going to say. But that just tells you they're not going to say anything about it. So we're going to have to wait till we get an official reveal. Or some other leak or rumor comes out that, So, I stress patience as always, guys. Hopefully this was an informative video and gave you kind of an idea on what to expect for the future Life is Strange. As we get closer and closer to the reveal, Hopefully I'll have some more videos talking about things, but as for now, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Sure, drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy this. Stay up to date with the latest Life is Strange content. And I'll catch you guys in the next Life is Strange video, whenever that will be. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Peace and love, and have a great day. Toodles.